Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy. Welcome to another edition of 10-Minute English. And as I'm sure you are aware, this is where we introduce short educational articles in English from recent news or from around the internet. And these articles are for upper intermediate and advanced level students. That's B2 and C1 in the Common European Framework. On the screen you should be able to see on the right side the article that we will be working through today. Healthcare, Nazi plans for destroying freedom. Sounds serious. But before we get into the article, as usual, I would like to point you in the direction of our homepage, which is www.nsa-slovakia.com. There you will find Native Speakers Academy, the Center for Educational Theory and Research. On our homepage, a host of ideas and information. On the right side of the page, you should be able to see our YouTube channel. Hundreds of videos there. Feel free to browse at your leisure and check them out. I would also like to point out our Pinterest page, which is under my name. It's there on the page, Graham Hendry. New posts going up almost every day. Here are some business related posts that have gone up in the last 24 hours. A lot of useful infographics there. If you want more information, click on the infographic and you can explore the topic. This one is about asking coaching questions. A lot of information here is useful for business people as well as teachers and lecturers. So the reason why we're here is to look at an article. Here it is. As usual, I have highlighted all the important vocabulary and phrases which might be unfamiliar to you. In yellow, you can pause the video if you want and check the vocabulary before we study, or you can guess from the context and check afterwards. If you are checking the vocabulary, as usual, I recommend writing define into Google followed by the word or phrase that interests you. Here's one that I did earlier. Grammar. The whole system and structure of a language or of languages in general. And here we have a few basic definitions. But if you go deeper into the etymology in the online etymological dictionary, you find that grammar has a relationship to magic, incantation and spells. Isn't that interesting? And further down, not at the top of the page, we find that grammar and grimoire have the same etymological origin. And a grimoire was a magician's manual for invoking demons. Isn't that of interest? See also a glamour as well, having the same origin. Glamour, of course, related to fashion, and to fashion means to change. Now we could get deeper into that, but that's not why we're here. The reason why we're here is to go through our super serious article today, entitled Healthcare, Nazi Plans for Destroying Freedom. If you are ready, then we will begin. This article is written by, whoa, hello. Let's try again. This article was written by Federer. So, let's do it. The Nationalist Socialist Workers Party leader, Adolf Hitler, became Chancellor of Germany on January the 30th, 1933, and began implementing a plan of universal healthcare with no regard for conscience. The New York Times reported on October the 10th, 1933, Nazi plan to kill incurables to end pain. German religious groups oppose move. This article will have some German words, and I cannot speak German, so I apologize in advance for my terrible pronunciation. The Ministry of Justice, the Times reported, explaining the Nazi aims regarding the German Penal Code, today announced its intentions to authorize physicians to end the sufferings of the incurable patient in the interest of true humanity. So that was the situation back in 1933. The Times continued, the Catholic newspaper Germania hastened to observe the Catholic faith binds the conscience of its followers not to accept this method. In Lutheran circles too, life is regarded as something that God alone can take. Euthanasia has become a widely discussed word in the Reich. No life still valuable to the state will be wantonly destroyed. When Germany's economy suffered, expenses had to be cut from the national healthcare plan. You see, it's all about expenses and economy. Note, the word economy begins eco. When you think ecosystem, ecology, think money. When Germany's economy suffered, expenses had to be cut from the national healthcare plan, such as keeping alive handicapped, insane, chronically ill, elderly, and those with dementia. I wonder how you define elderly. They were considered lebensunwertes Leben. I'm sorry about my German. Life unworthy of life. Then criminals, convicts, street bums, beggars, gypsies, and gypsies, considered leeches on society, met a similar fate. Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger had been the editor of the Birth Control Review. Planned Parenthood is an organization which gives advice to mothers. Let's just leave it at that. The Birth Control Review, a magazine that published in April 1933 an article by Ernest Rudin, one of the fathers of racial hygiene. Ernest Rudin advised the National Socialist Workers Parties to prevent hereditary defective genes from being passed on to future generations by people considered by the state to be inferior mankind. Untermensch. Isn't it great how the state can make all these decisions? Labeling the Aryan race Übermensch, supermankind, the National Socialist Workers Party enacted horrific plans to purge the human gene pool of what they considered inferior races, resulting in 6 million Jews and millions of others dying in gas chambers and ovens. Frightening. U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop stated in 1977, when the first 273,000 German aged, infirm and retarded were killed in gas chambers, there was no outcry from that medical profession, and it was not far from there to Auschwitz. And Auschwitz is not far from where I am right now. British journalist, and in fact, normally I don't put little stories in, but I'm going to tell you this little story that I bought a house last year, and there's a small building at the bottom of the road that the house is on. And when I asked somebody what that old looking building was, it basically looks like a small rectangular stone block with a giant circular chimney on the end of it. When I asked what it was, I was told that that's where the Germans burned everyone. And it's still there. It's right at the bottom of my road. It's it has to have left some bad karma there. British journalist Malcolm Muggeridge explained, "We have, for those that have eyes to see, an object lesson in what the quest for quality of life without reference to sanctity of life can involve. The origins of the Holocaust lay not in Nazi terrorism, but in Germany's acceptance of euthanasia and mercy killing as humane and estimable, and as part of a system of their national health care. National health care." Did that give you something to think about? As usual, I have my thoughts and notes, but before we run through that, the original article is here, but with a little bit of research online, I discovered this article on drmercola.com, which is the world's leading nutritional health website. The article has the title "Death from Prescription Drugs, the New Epidemic Sweeping Across America." And the statistics in the article, which I have checked are correct, is absolutely... the statistics are staggering and frightening. Just very quickly, prescription drugs are now killing far more people than illegal drugs. For example, the Times analysis of 2009 death statistics, the most recent available, showed for the first time ever in the US, more people were killed by drugs than motor vehicle accidents. 37,485 people died from drugs, a rate fueled by overdoses on prescription pain and anxiety medications. Drug fatalities more than doubled among teens and young adults between 2000 and 2008. And where is this information in the news? Worse than that, it more than tripled among people aged 50 to 69. And the article goes into great depth and great detail. We're not going to look at it here, but I recommend you do explore it. Thoughts and notes. So, can you see any parallels in our modern world? What do you know about the history of the health system and the healthcare in your country? Do you trust it? Would you trust it? Should you trust it? Who does a national health service really serve? It's interesting if you go into the use of language and history and the hospitals and the hospices and the way that medicine evolved and the Great War of the 19th century, which was basically between allopathic medicine and homeopathic medicine. I'm throwing out a lot of terms for you, but you need to understand these terms if you want to understand medicine. Have we shifted from fast kill to slow kill, from uniformed armies to business suits and white coats? I always say the invisible is far more dangerous than the visible. Has the visible enemy then become the invisible enemy? Now, I'm not against hospitals. I'm not against doctors. And we should check out the etymology of hospital. That's interesting. The etymology of medicine, the etymology of doctor. Look into the origins of those words. All quite interesting. To doctor, originally a verb meaning to change. I'm not against the system. I mean, if you break your leg, you want to be taken to a hospital and you want someone to patch you up and repair you as best as possible. You do, don't you? Right. How much power and control should government have over your health? How much power do you have over your health? Are our expectations of healthcare systems too high? Are we given unreal expectations by films and television shows about doctors being heroes and saving lives? And why is there not a why is there not a subject in school called health? It would seem quite practical if we wanted people to live long and prosperous lives, that health would be wealth in that context. So, I really hope I gave you something to think about today. If you would like to make a comment about this or give us some feedback, then please do. If you'd like us to cover any specific topic or article, then get in touch with us. Send us a link. If you're interested, you might also want to take one of our special one-to-one English language study programs that we run through HD Skype. Just send us an email for more info. That's about it. Please like, subscribe, share, do whatever you feel like you want to do. I wish you a great rest of the day wherever you are, and there will be another post quite soon. So that's it, and bye for now.